Hey man, we're here in Frankfurt, Kentucky. Where are we at?
Musket's Music Station.
There we are.
The beautiful Musket's Music Station.
Man, we are here at the Steel Horse Thunder and Beyond podcast. Big shout out to Badass Beer Care. I know you guys are looking, going, how in the world could you possibly play for 3 hours on stage out in that heat and come in here and my beard still looks wonderful? Well, it's because I use Badass Beer Care. That's why. It works. It works really, really good. So we just want to say thank you, Badass Beer Care. This is an absolute joy for me to be able to be here. I am with Anthony Rosano and the Conqueroos. The way I say it is, if you like your blues with some rock and about 4 fingers of funk, that's what you guys are.
I like that. I like that. 4 fingers of funk.
You guys, it's more than just rock and blues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got that funky thing to you. Almost. There's times you get that jazzy kind of vibe I get from you guys, man. It's just super cool. We call this Steel Horse Thunder and Beyond because we talk about motorcycles, but we also talk about other things. And obviously, you guys being musicians, but the cool thing is you guys all ride.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, what do you ride?
I ride a Triumph Bonneville. That's what I'm riding now. I've pretty much had every type of motorcycle except for like an adventure bike. So I've had sport bikes, I've had Harleys, I've had scooters. I've had everything. Right now I'm riding a Bonnie. Just wanted a standard motorcycle,
right?
Something like just straight up. And I love it. It's probably my favorite bike that I've owned so far.
I got to do a test ride on a Bonneville a few years back, and I came back and I'm smiling ear to ear, and even the camera guy there, he's like, "I've never seen you this happy."
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is why I started riding motorcycles.
Yeah, it's fun.
When I was growing up, the Bonneville was the bike to have. I absolutely loved it. All right, man, let's just go down the line here. Kyle, what do you...
Okay. So right now, main
drummer,
bike,
by the way. Yeah. Drummer.
Main bike is a 90 Harley Heritage Classic. Yep. Nothing crazy.
So you're a Harley guy.
Yep, stripped down. Yeah.
All right, Jake.
Another Harley guy here. I started on an 01 Sportster S, carbureted. And I got a 2012 Dyna Switchback. I actually just sold that, and I'm back on the Sportster. And I'm pretty happy, man. I like that.
Yeah? Switchback's pretty nice.
Nice bike, too.
Yeah, they are. They're nice bikes. I'm riding an old 2000 Road King. I bought it brand new. Only thing I ever bought brand new in my life.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, except my wife, but other than my wife, the motorcycle, only thing I ever bought brand new.
Which one are you still paying for?
And, we'll leave it at that. So, you guys as musicians, this is the thing to me. When I'm on a motorcycle, there's a lot of times I don't even listen to music. Now, my bike is a Road King. I don't have radio. I don't have any of that stuff on there. I know today we all have Bluetooth devices. We can listen to music if we want to. I generally don't. What I find myself doing is singing other people's songs. You know what I'm saying? When I go down there, I just got certain songs going through my head. And I'm just curious, when you're out on the bike, do you prefer to listen to music?
No, I don't usually listen to music. The only reason why I even have like a Bluetooth in my helmet is because I have kids. So usually if I want to see if there's an emergency or something, I want to be able to get to that, right? But otherwise, if you call me when I'm on a bike, it's going to voicemail. I don't do that. I don't play around like that.
Right.
I don't usually listen to music because for me, the best part about riding a motorcycle is you are thinking about everything, but nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
It's my favorite way to de-stress. It's my favorite release, other than playing music, But for going out on a motorcycle, I just like going out. I just always call it getting lost. I'm going out and I'm getting lost. I don't have the GPS on.
Right.
I figure if I get lost enough, chances are that I'll have enough signal where I can get a GPS to get me back. But I'll just go out and get completely lost. Yeah. That's what I like doing. That's my thing. I like hearing the bike. I like smelling what's going on. I like feeling the subtle changes in temperature.
Right.
And like I said, you're aware of all of this that's going on, and you're allowed to curse on here, right?
Sure.
All right, cool. You're aware of all the assholes that are out on the road, but at the same time, you're not paying attention to them. You know what I mean? It's this weird, sort of Zen thing. You know.
Right.
So yeah, I don't usually listen to music. That's the short answer. I don't listen to music.
Yeah, that wasn't as much fun. I was just kind of keeping an eye out because people come up and they want to talk to you guys and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
don't- I
cool.
don't
We'll get them
want
on the cast. We'll get them on the cast. Yeah.
I don't want them to feel like they can't see you guys while you're here. No, it was a fantastic show here in Frankfurt. I know you guys travel all over the place.
Yeah.
What keeps you motivated to do? Normally I'm asking people, so how long have you been riding? What was it that got you interested in riding a motorcycle? What about musicians? When was that moment? Is there an aha moment in your life where you're like, you know what? This is going to be more than just a hobby. It's more than just something I enjoy doing at home. This is something I want to do for a living. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to make my career.
I mean, for me, it's the ability to connect with people. So like when I was a kid and I would listen to music and it just stirs that something inside of you. You know what I mean? And you don't know these people that you're hearing sing on the radio or play guitar on the radio or whatever. But you feel an immediate connection with the sonic stuff that's going on. For me, and it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, that's what you're chasing, like tonight when we got people singing along to a song that they've never heard before, but they're singing it back to you. They're part of it. Everybody's all part of this one moment that's going on. That's what it's about for me. That's what it's always, I didn't know that's what it was always about. Once I figured it out, it was like, oh, that's why you do this. That is why you do this. It's not, to get a Ferrari and you know what I mean?
Right.
And all of that. That's not like,
Well, that's why I didn't think you guys would be able to come in here and do this podcast after the show. I figured you'd have all your groupies and you guys hitting the bars for about, 3 or 4 more hours, turning in at 4 o'clock and having some kind of venereal disease to
the rock and roll lifestyle. The rock and roll. No, our rock and roll lifestyle is Huddle House and White Castles. White Castles is the deal. Regret. White Castles and Regret. That's it. That's the name of the next record. White Castles and Regret.
It's funny you say that because I've seen you guys with Tab and Noir.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently saw Tab down in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And it was actually in Kentucky, but it's like, right over
right over there. Yeah.
You're in, you're looking at the ballpark from the hotel.
Yeah.
And we went to the show and it was a great show. It really was. And there wasn't a lot of people. And I went back there where his bus was at and everything else, smoked a cigar with them and just kind of BS'd for a while. And it was we had such a great night. And then by the time we got out of there, we're looking for a place to eat, and everything's closed except White Castle.
Yeah.
And I just looked at her. I was like, "Does it get any more perfect?"
Yeah.
Than this right here? It's like, my God, if this doesn't bring back memories. Where the only thing left is White Castle. That's usually not a good thing, but it was. It was a great evening for us. So,
the first time they had it, where was that? Was it Iowa? Was it the first? Was
Missouri.
That?
It was Missouri.
It was Missouri. It was Missouri. We were in Missouri. And they had never had White Castles, so I was like, yo, we got to hit this. And we got a crave case. We got straight up crave case. And we were determined to eat 10 each that night. And that's where the regret part of the story comes in.
So now you guys are in Virginia.
Yes.
All you guys are, so they don't have White Castle
They do not have White Castle in Virginia, no. They have the ones you get in a grocery store that you can microwave.
All right.
But it ain't the same thing.
Do you have crystals?
They do not. They do not.
All right, because down south there's crystals.
Yeah, there's down south. Yeah, crystals are down south. Look, I'm not gonna. Crystals are great. Don't you know what I mean? Like if you dig crystals or if you work at crystals or something, don't be hating. But I mean, White Castle. I mean, White Castle crystals. And I will say, we were just in Detroit and we were like in a okay area, right? And it was questionable. There was a White Castle, and we were like, we got to get it. And it was questionable whether or not we were even going to go there because of the area we were in. You know what I mean? But I got to say this: it's probably the best White Castles I've ever had.
Is that right?
In my entire time on this earth. Yeah, they were great.
Ha!
They were great. There was something special about them, for real.
Yeah.
It was like,
That's pretty cool. Yeah, well, could have been the PCP.
It could have been, yeah. It could have been, yeah.
It might have been the water.
Might have been the water, yeah.
So what about you, Kyle? You're playing drums. How long you been playing drums?
15, 16 years, something like that. Yeah. And,
What made you decide? Because as a young kid, I played drums.
Mhm.
I couldn't keep my mouth from not going
yeah,
as I'm playing.
Yeah.
Everybody made fun of me. And then, of course, I'm watching John Bonham.
I was just
I'm
saying, John Bonham
"What
does it."
son
Yeah,
of a
that's
bitch is
it.
doing
Yeah.
it? Why
Making
isn't
faces,
nobody's
yeah.
making fun of
Yeah,
him?
yeah.
It's like, damn. So I never really pursued it. I'm one of those guys that I can play an instrument for about a week, maybe 5 weeks. And then after that, I hit that plateau and I can never do anything more. I wanted to play guitar. And then I found out you don't always hit all the strings.
Right.
I'm like, you shitting me?
Yeah,
I gotta do this,
yeah,
and
you
then I
gotta be
figure out-
selective.
I gotta
You
figure
gotta-
out which ones I'm hitting and whether
Yeah.
I'm going up or down.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I finally started playing harmonica, and I couldn't even play that. And I put it down. I was like, God, I suck. And it was one of those things where, for me, it was like, I really want to learn to play, and I got to get past this thing. I want to learn how to play. And I thought, harmonica, it comes in a certain key. I can't be out of key because
Right. Yeah.
key.
Yeah. It's
Well, then,
really
of course-
hard to.
And then, of course, as you learn to play and you start playing blues, you're bending everything. So
Right.
then you are changing
Oh, yeah.
key.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
now it's like, okay, so now I got to play C. They're playing G.
Yeah.
Really messed me up.
Yeah,
bad.
there's some
And then-
math there with it
Yeah.
with playing blues hard.
But that was the one thing I really enjoyed doing. That's the biggest thing I could say I ever did when it comes to being a musician. I was a preacher. I was a suit and tie pulpit evangelist.
Really?
Traveling evangelist. Yes, back in the day, back when I was a good Christian.
Yeah.
And, but I used to play it in the church and stuff. You know, just the different ways you can play a harmonica.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
show how we're all different people, and everybody needs to stay as their own individual.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not in the church much anymore. I don't like the cookie cutter stuff. I don't like everybody's got to look like this, sound like this, talk like
Right.
this, act like this. It's like, no, we're all individuals, man.
Yeah.
You got to find your own path. But with the harmonica, it was something I really enjoyed doing. I never found that with anything else. So it's like when you first started playing drums, did you just automatically know, all right, this is what I want to do?
No, no. It was I was really fortunate. Like my family's kind of music
Okay.
oriented stuff, and I was just happened to be around a lot of professional musicians growing up, and I got to see and be around that environment and see, oh, you can make a living playing music.
Yeah.
And then also had some really good teachers that pushed me when I did hit that plateau. They're like, oh, you got to keep working harder, you know, that type
Yeah.
of stuff. So, just the people I was surrounded by really, pushed me to be where I am now and everything like that. But yeah, shoot, that's how I
Nice.
started.
What about you, Fluker?
Yeah, I just kind of, no one in my family was musical. So I was like a trailblazer with that. And I just started playing bass. Something drew me to it. And I just fell in love with it, man. Never really stopped. I had good teachers that were encouraging. Went to school for it. Yeah.
Well, I love the way you play.
Thank you.
I do. I love, like I said, you guys got so much funk along with the blues and the rock that it just blends so good together. And to me, it's like, well, of course, they're all riders, man. They all ride motorcycles. Of course, they got a freedom in them, and you need a freedom when you're up on that stage.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I look at both things. I look at music as a freedom. I look at motorcycles as freedom. What's the difference between those freedoms? Is the freedom on stage, is it different than the freedom on a motorcycle?
It can be. I mean, I think for me, there's a lot of parallels, because of what we do. So, most of what we do is improvised. We don't usually write set lists. It's very rare. Like if we write a set list, we don't. It's like we do 2 songs on it and then it's out the window. We're going. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're getting lost. So that's the way I approach music the same way. We're all reacting to what we're doing and the road that we're on. It just has twists and turns and it goes all different ways. I mean, I think if you're hearing a jazz sort of thing in what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably what you're hearing is the improvising.
Exactly.
And sometimes something really cool might happen on stage, and that takes us in a completely different direction that we've never gone before. We've never played this song this way before, but something just that night happened, and that's how we're playing it. And then sometimes it's like, okay, let's kind of stick there. You know what I mean? Like that might become part of that song from then on, or something else changes, whatever. So it's a very for me personally, it's a very similar thing. you know, freedom-wise. And I don't like to be in a situation musically where that freedom is not available.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's like, you know, I'd much rather take the bike to go run errands or go do what I got to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I gotta go to the post office, I'll throw stuff in the saddlebag. I go on the bike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
If I don't have to get like a week's worth of groceries, I just got to go get, you know what I mean? Go pick
Picking up a
something
few
up.
things,
Yeah.
yep.
You know, and what would normally take, you know, 15 minutes to go to the store in a very direct way in a car, it might take me a little longer on the bike.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. But I would always prefer to do that. Same thing with music. I can't personally see myself playing in a musical situation where that's not available in some way. This band would never be like that. This band will always be improvised, shoot from the hip. This is what we're doing. That's just the way it is, you know.
And I hope it stays that way because that's what
I
makes
can't.
you
It's
guys.
not good. I mean, it's
It
not
really
changing.
is. It's
yeah.
what makes you guys
Thank
so
you.
stinking good. So I've got to talk a little bit about the new album, and
Yeah.
it's not even new anymore. It's
No, it's about a
year
year old.
now,
It's
right?
a year. Yeah, a year old.
So
it's still a
Cindy,
baby.
We don't have Cameraman Wes. We don't have
It's
Cameraman
still a
Wes,
little
but we
baby.
do have Cindy is behind camera right now. Hey, could you hand me one of the shirts right there with the new
Oh, yeah.
album cover?
Oh, we could probably get a
Purple
CD
Fawn?
too. There's CDs around here somewhere.
Yeah, I just want to hold up a shirt. And there you go, Anthony Rosano and the Conqueroos.
That funny looking mug.
Called Cheating the Devil. This is a fantastic album. Tell me a little bit
Thank
about
you.
this album. I know you guys produced it, or
Tab produced it.
Tab
Yeah,
produced
Tab
it
produced
down in
Yeah, Houma, Louisiana.
Okay.
They recorded it.
I knew it was
Whiskey Bayou
Louisiana.
Records, Whiskey Bayou Studios. Tab and was the band behind Whiskey Bayou.
Yeah. So how did this new album come out?
All right, so
Or come about?
I've known Tab since about 2013. I met him. I played a blues festival in Tulsa, Oklahoma called the Hound Dog Blues Fest. And we both had short hair at the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was back in those days. Both clean cut. So I've known him for that long. Whenever he would come to Virginia, I would open for him. It was usually over the net. We maintained this friendship, you know, and sort of relationship over the years. Fast forward, post COVID, we did a show open for him. Kyle was on his honeymoon, so Jake and I did an acoustic set opening for Tab, and we just got to talking backstage. He said he was getting this label going. Would we be interested? He'd have his manager call me. Cool. I didn't think it was going to really happen. You know, I thought it was just, you know, whatever. And then he did call, and then we went down there. Just like, yeah, we talked for a while about what our approaches were to music. Tab has a very similar outlook on how music should be presented and created as I do. Or I should say, I have a similar outlook as he does.
Are you saying he's older?
I was going to say that. I was going to say. No. I was just trying to be respectful. But he is older. He is a little older than I am. I said it was kind of like when we were talking. It was kind of like, and we were talking about music. You know, like when you were in high school, you're like a freshman, or you know, in high school, and then the seniors, you know,
right.
They turn you on to like, hey, you got to check this out. You know what I mean? It was kind of like that sort of vibe. Like we both listened to the same sort of stuff growing up, even though he's a few years older than I am.
Right.
So it was cool. You know what I mean? And we said, we talked about records that we both liked, and you know, we are huge fans of Grand Funk Railroad. Love Grand Funk Railroad. And I kind of use that as a
roller
template.
Skated to them all the time, brother.
But those first Grand Funk records were so nasty, you know what I mean, and organic. And I said, you know, that's kind of the records I like. So we went down there to record the record, and Tab really held us to task. You know, we recorded the record live. There's no overdubs. It's like I was in the same room as his drum set. He was playing bass in the same room. My guitar amp was in another room. Just to get a little bit of isolation, but you know, like the cymbals you hear from the drums are actually coming through the vocal microphone. So we made a record like records used to be made. Yeah, we wanted to put something out where if you come see us, you'd be like, oh, this CD sounds exactly like the band we just listened
Right.
to, you know? So yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And then we went down there, we recorded it. We drove down from Norfolk to Houma, Louisiana. Like, we didn't drive straight through. We stopped
I was
at.
gonna say that's a
yeah,
long drive. That's a long drive.
we did drive straight back.
Yeah.
We did drive straight back. We did that twice, like 3 times. I think I've done it 3 times. I think I've done it 3 times. But we stayed at your uncle's house, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Georgia.
Georgia, yeah. Stayed there the first night, and then we drove like 12 hours and got to Houma, Louisiana, and we unloaded the truck. We put all our stuff in the studio and set up, and we went through. I think there's 10 or 11 songs on a record. I think we cracked through 8 of the songs that are,
Wow.
you know. Now those didn't make it on the record because they sounded terrible because we just drove like 12 hours.
Yeah, it was not
Yeah,
good. It was not
but
good.
the next day, no, we recorded the next day for real. We did record like 8 of the songs that are on the record, and then the day after that, we did a boil, like a low country boil.
Mm-hmm.
So we pigged out, and then after that, we recorded the other songs that were on the record. I think we did one song twice. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been Jonesboro Road that we did twice, and we didn't use the second one. We used the first one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Jonesboro Road. We did it.
Last song we recorded.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think we did it. The second day we did it again because we were like, we don't know if we like the first one, and then when we listened back to it, it's like the second time we did it might have been technically better, you know,
Right.
but it didn't have the same feel. So we just went with the first one.
And I told you that's actually my favorite song on the album.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Jonesboro Road. That is my favorite song on there. I'm not one that likes to make requests and say, "Hey, would you play this song?" You know what I'm saying? I usually don't do that, but I did do that with you this time.
And we did it tonight. We played it tonight.
You did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did play
yeah.
tonight. I was very happy.
Yeah.
I was very happy.
Good.
So now you guys, I mean, you guys run the gamut. It's you'll do 20 people acoustic set, and you'll do 20,000 people. I mean, you guys have shared the stage with some pretty big names. I'm talking some of the biggest of the biggest. I'm talking Bob Seger, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Seger. You guys were just recently with Humble Pie.
Yep.
ZZ Top. My first rock concert ever. My very first concert. My first concert was actually the Carpenters with Karen Carpenter.
Oh wow.
But I couldn't tell anybody that because I went with my mom. But then when I turned 13 in 1974, I turned 13 and I got to go see ZZ Top, and it was their Fandango album.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
When they had
the
all
whole
the cactus and they had the camels and they had the rattlesnakes and all that stuff. That was my first rock show. So yeah, I was a huge ZZ Top fan. But I know you play with a lot of people like that. So you've been on, like I said, 20,000, and then you've also done quiet, intimate. More intimate settings. Which do you prefer? No, not even which you prefer. Which is easiest?
I wouldn't say either one is easier than the other, but I could pretty easily tell you which one I prefer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, look, I like getting off on connecting with people through music. If that's 20 people, that's 20,000 people. It doesn't matter. The connection is the important thing. And there's been situations where we've played in things where, maybe there's 500 people there, and, we're only connecting with a certain amount of them,
Right.
because it's not our scene. It's not our thing. But that doesn't diminish what we're doing musically. To me, the experience is still the same because I'm still having that connection with somebody,
Okay.
But there's not a lot that can compare to walking on stage at Madison Square Garden.
I would imagine.
And it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome, dude. It really is.
I
it really is.
The only reason I asked that was because as a minister, I have been to mega churches where I was preaching to, say, 5,000, 7,000 people.
Right.
I've also been to small churches where there's 2 families.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as a minister, it was much easier because everybody's like, "Oh my God, did you get nervous in front of 5,000 people?" I was like, "God, no." nobody's significant out there. You don't really see anybody.
Right,
yeah.
It's just a
Yeah,
massive
yeah.
slew of people. I don't have that connection. You get 3 people in there. Well, if 2 of them don't really like what you're saying,
Right. Yeah. No. That's yeah.
and
Then
you make a reference.
Yeah.
I used to talk about whipping post from the Allman
Yeah.
Brothers,
Yeah.
and I used to always talk about that. I always told everybody, I said, you need whipping post freedom. I was like, whipping post freedom. When you're driving down your car, windows are up, you got whipping post cranking on there, and you start singing with Greg Allman,
Yeah.
and you're just screaming at the top of your lungs, and you don't care. I said, that kind of freedom. That's the kind of freedom we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Dude, when you're in an old little lily white church somewhere,
Yeah.
they're looking at you like, all right.
What is he talking
What,
about?
this guy come in from Woodstock or what? I don't know. But that's why I was asking that. I didn't know what it was like as a musician, when you just have a few people as opposed to a massive, if it is any easier to play to the masses as it is
I
to,
think it can be easier a little bit to play to a bigger audience than a smaller audience, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's it's just a motivation thing. Like it's more. It's harder for us when we can't hear each other. That's the worst. You know what I
right.
mean? That's the worst. Or when you're having issues with gear or something like that. That's the worst. That's the worst.
Yeah.
But the audience, I mean, it's as much of a privilege to play for 5 people as it is to play for 5,000 people.
Right.
For me, that's the way I look at it.
See, the difference is you guys are good musicians. I was a horrible preacher. See, I could be in front of 10 people, and if those 10 people like me, hell, I was golden, man.
Right,
But-
yeah.
but when only 2 of them liked me, and the other 8 were like, "Dear God, is he ever going to shut up?" That's when it gets difficult. So that's why I say it was so much easier with 5,000 people. But so what are you guys' future plans? I mean, what's going down the road? It's been a year now. You got a new album out.
Well, I think we're probably going to find a White Castle on the way home.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna, no, I don't know, man. We're just trying to get out and play more, and do as many shows as we can for as many people as we can. This is great. I appreciate you having us on the podcast. But we live in an age where, for a musician, you also have to, do the social media thing to
Yes,
a
you
point
do.
of like, I don't know. It's a little weird. It can get a little weird sometimes. And I might be showing my age here, but I'm kind of old school. Like I prefer going out and playing music for real people in real time,
Right.
and doing it live and making connections that way. I do stuff on TikTok. I do stuff on social media. I put some stuff up, but it seems more and more these days that that's sort of what's expected of you as a musician professionally
Right.
to do. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of not about that. I'm more about going out and playing live. So for us, I think that's the right path. That's the
Yeah.
right thing for us to do, is get out there, play for as many people as we can, have that visceral live interaction with people, and keep going, keep hammering away, keep going, keep putting the miles in,
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
got.
I want to have you guys at the Boogie. The
I'm
Boogie
down,
is
yeah.
it's Indiana. It's the largest Midwest motorcycle rally. Is how it's built. It's a big place. They usually have a lot of bands that come in. They do I think Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday nights.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, is to get you on there.
That'd be cool.
I've already
Thank you,
talked
man.
to them. Obviously, they'd already had this year's.
Yeah.
Because it just happened last weekend. Which is why I didn't come out, because I was going to see
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys in Dayton,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh crap, it's the Boogie. Oh, we can't do that. And so then, like an idiot, I went ahead and booked a couple other concerts in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So I'm running back and forth. And it was a crazy weekend. But
Sounds like a great
hell,
weekend to me.
what was I even talking about?
You were talking
just
about
lost
the people at
So
the
you
Boogie.
said talk.
Yeah, talking. I know, because
I
we're
know.
talking. We're talking.
I
Yeah,
know.
I was like, we're talking here.
Every
we're talking.
now and then
We're
it
talking
just
here.
slips out.
Yeah.
So we're both from Long Island,
Yeah.
just in case you're wondering. And
We both like coffee.
We
We
do
both
like
have
coffee.
dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I like a little sausage on the pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sausage. Hey.
like I was saying, I would love to get you guys out of the boogie. The fact that you guys
Yeah.
ride motorcycles, your music to me reflects that you ride. I mean,
Thank
Tab
you.
rides. Tab's a
Yeah,
motorcycle guy,
yeah.
you
Tab
know?
rides,
I know he's got an ultra classic. He's got the radio. He's
Yeah,
got all
yeah,
the,
yeah, I know,
all
yeah,
the nice
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
on there,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But hey, but it just reflects in your music. Like I said, there's a freedom.
Yeah.
In motorcycles, there's a freedom, and that's what the boogie is. It's a freedom. You get there. Now it can get pretty wild.
No,
in
it's
the
good.
boogie,
Yeah,
so-
that's good.
But it's a great time. I'd love to get you guys there, and I just know anywhere you go, when people see you. I heard people when we were walking away from the stage, when you guys shut down, we packing up our chairs. We're heading over this way to the record store here, and every person that we heard talking as they passed by, my God, they're good. Holy
that's cool.
cow!
Thank
You know,
you.
I heard
Yeah.
several people. That's the best concert they've had here all year, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what you guys do. Anytime
thank
you
you.
play somewhere, people just fall in love with you guys because of that freedom that you guys show on stage. And then on top of that, you guys are real people. My grandson, Warren,
Yeah.
he's on
He's a good
vacation
kid.
with he's
He's
on
a good
vacation.
kid.
He's on vacation with his mom. Apparently, she's strayed away from the Lord to take him away when you guys were going to be here. But so yeah, he couldn't make it. I sent him a picture earlier, and he just thought it was so cool. You guys made his day,
Oh, cool,
man.
man.
I think it was Louisville last year, if
Yeah,
I'm not
Louisville,
mistaken.
yeah.
And we got a chance to hang out, and you guys took pictures with him and all that stuff. Man,
Yeah,
signed his
yeah, the
guitar.
guitar,
Yes,
right?
you
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, it was
Yes, you
awesome,
did.
yeah.
Signed the guitar for him. So yeah, it was a shame he couldn't come out to this because he would have absolutely loved this. But that's the kind of him learning, playing guitar now himself, when he has a chance to meet guys like you that take the time, for a 16-year-old and say, no, yeah, stick with it, man. Stick
Yeah,
with
absolutely,
it and do this
yeah.
and do that. And when he asks his questions, you guys answer him. You're taking pictures with him. Dude, he felt like a rock star. That
Oh, that's
night.
cool,
You know what
man.
I
That's
mean?
cool. We did too. He
Yeah.
made us feel like rock stars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really? Yeah.
No, just super cool. I'm super glad you guys took the time out. Again, you guys just finished playing 3 hours. 3 hours. It's pretty darn warm out,
It's a little
warm out
warm.
here.
It's a little warm.
Then we come back here, and you can tell I'm a little dry right now. I'm having a hard time talking right now. My mouth is dry
Talking.
now.
He's having a hard time talking over here. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So we'll kind of wrap things up. Is there anything you want to talk about with Anthony Rosano and the Conqueroos? Do you want to? How do people find your music? How do they find your
You
stuff?
can find it. We're on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, all that stuff. We are on Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon, yada yada yada, YouTube, all of that stuff. And then we bring CDs and stuff with us. Muscat's Music Station has graciously
Yes.
been selling our CDs this evening.
And if you're in Frankfurt, this is a really
It's a
cool
really
store
cool
to come
store. It
into,
really is
man.
a cool store. It really is a cool store.
I,
And it's
I
good
spent-
people.
I spent a lot of money while I was here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good people.
I did buy
It's good
quite a bit of
people.
vinyl while I was here.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, we're on all that stuff. You can find us everywhere. Website is conqueroos.com. CONQUEROOS.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, all of that stuff. We do all that deal. And then come see a show. Come see
Right
us.
on.
Come hang out with us at a show. We'd love to talk to you.
Your ink.
Yeah.
That's on a lot of your T-shirts. It's
Yeah.
on albums. Is there a significance, meaning behind that, or one that you want to talk about?
No,
Or
I
would
can
you
talk about
rather
it. Yeah, no, I'll talk about it. So when the band first started, and I say the band first started, it really was me in my home studio demoing stuff and playing drums and playing bass and singing and playing guitar. And I didn't want to put something out and have it be like, hey, this is me. It's all me. I do that. So I made up that Conqueroo is from a Muddy Waters song. And it's from a Hoochie Coochie Man.
Right.
It's a lyric in Hoochie Coochie Man. And what it really is John the Conqueror Root. Okay? And then over time that got shortened to Conqueroo.
Okay.
I got my Conqueroo. So there's two things that you do with that. One is you can take the root, you chew it up, and if you are going into a courthouse, you spit that on the floor of the courthouse as you're walking in, and you will be acquitted of all charges. That's what the one thing is. But what most people know is you're supposed to take John the Conqueror root and you chew it up and you swallow it, and it's like hoodoo Viagra. So it's supposed to give you, you know, a pistola,
Right.
you know. So that's what it is.
Strong like bull.
yeah, strong like bull. So when I first I was putting songs out on the interweb. I wanted to have it seem like there was a band, even though a band didn't exist. So I just Anthony Rosano and the Conqueroos. Right? That's how it started. And when I did that, and I was tying in all the hoodoo thing, I was looking through all these old folk art, and the Hamsa wasn't a Hamsa in hoodoo, but they would use the same symbolism, the hand with the eyeball in it. So I developed a whole sort of thing. I wanted something that was going to be like, you know, you see the lips, the Rolling Stone lips,
right?
And you know it doesn't have to say it's the Rolling Stones,
right,
but you know it's the Rolling Stones. So that's sort of what I put together, and then it just went from there, and now it's on everything. It's got to be on everything,
right?
I got this tattoo, the album before this album. I also recorded in New Orleans. And I recorded that with a guy named Mike Zito, produced that album, who's a great guitar player, a great songwriter. And Mike was very good to me. But he produced that record, and when that record came out, the Rolling Stones had released their blues record at the same time. So on Apple iTunes or Apple Music, whatever it was at the time, it was 2017. They were number one, and we kept climbing the charts all day. To release day, we were climbing the charts, and I was sitting having lunch with my daughter, and a friend of mine called me, and he's like, man, he's like, Keith and Mick gotta be saying who the fuck is this Rosano guy? You know? So I said, oh yeah, and I think we were number two. I said that's probably the closest I'll get to the Stones in my whole life. He says, you haven't seen the charts. So I said, no, I just looked at it. He's like, look again. So I looked, and we made number one over the Stones, right? So I went out and got this version of the hand was on that album cover. So I went out that day, that evening, and I got this tattooed on me. And I also put in my will that when I'm laid to rest, it would be like, you know, born April 9th, 19, blah, 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 and then passed away, hopefully like 2065. And it'll say also April 11th, 2017. Knocked the Rolling Stones out of the number one spot on Apple iTunes. That's good said, and I'm like, you know what I mean? So, but that's where that's what the tattoo. So I got the tattoo for that, to sort of commemorate that.
Nice.
Not like I would ever forget it. It's not like I look down, I'm like, hey, remember that?
No, I forgot all about that.
I forgot all about that. You know what I mean? But no, I just thought it was, you know, it was something that it was ink worthy. It was ink worthy.
Oh yeah,
you know, to
most definitely.
But yeah, so that's what, that's where the hand comes from. It's like a hoodoo symbolism, and it just took off. And then even before people really, I mean, it's not like people know who we are now. We're not like a household name. But I'll see, you know, the Hamsa thing is everywhere now.
Right.
For some weird cosmic reason, it's become part of like, you know, pop culture or culture now. So people will see it printed on like a bag or something, and I'll get like a Facebook message and be like, hey, we seen this bag with your logo. It's like, it's not my logo, you know what I mean? Like, it is my logo, but it's not really, I didn't come up with it, you know?
Right.
But it's cool. So there is a recognition there for it that ties people to our band. You know, to the band.
Exactly. And you talk about number one. I mean, the newest album?
The newest album,
you guys
it did really well. Yeah, I mean, so that record, the Zito record, reached number 9 on Billboard. This record that we did reached, I think it peaked at number 3.
Okay.
Which is
I knew
incredible.
It was right
yeah.
near the top.
It was pretty incredible. Yeah. So we've been very fortunate. I mean, for guys that are basically slinging CDs out of a van, you know, people have been really responsive, and I'm happy that they dig it, that they enjoyed what we did. You know.
Well, I just want to encourage anybody out there. You do motorcycle rallies, motorcycle events, whatever. You got to have these guys. You've got to have
thank
them.
you, man.
I mean, it's just, to me, I can't even imagine now next year the boogie and you guys not being there.
Well, thank you.
First of all, it's real close to my home.
Too. Yeah.
Much closer.
We got a place to crash.
Exactly. And we got an outdoor shower. It'd be perfect.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect, yeah.
No, man, thank you guys so much for taking time out. Do any of you have anything you want to say before we call it a night?
Thanks for having us do this. This is awesome. This is really cool.
All right, man. Anthony Rosano and the Conqueroos, you got to check them out. What they have done here in Frankfurt, Kentucky was awesome.
Well,
and the place was packed. I mean,
It was
the
a pretty
place
good- it was a
was
pretty good
packed.
crowd.
It
Yeah,
was a
pretty
good sized
good
crowd.
crowd.
I don't know if you could tell how far back.
Oh, yeah, I could
went,
see it.
all the
Yeah,
way to
yeah,
all
yeah.
the way to the backside of the courthouse. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
and all the way off to the right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it
it
was
was
there was
cool.
a ton of people, man. And you guys rocked it. Everybody said they loved it, and that's what you get when you go see these guys in concert. You're going to walk away with a big smile, and you're going to be a little more tired because you probably boogied a little bit while you were there watching. So, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
and
man.
I hope we see you in Indiana next
Yeah.
year for the boogie. And shoot, who knows? We do an after party. Steel Horse Thunder does. We do an after party, and I have a tendency to bring comedians in
Yeah.
for that kind of stuff. But you know what? I may break tradition and bring in a band. I don't know. I may have to be talking to you guys.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Sometime it'll be usually.
We got plenty of jokes too.
Yeah. It's usually around the beginning of March when we do it. So I don't know how busy you guys are in the wintertime. I'm assuming it slows down some.
We
in the
stay
winter?
pretty busy, man.
Is
Yeah,
that
we
right?
stay pretty busy. Yeah, but yeah, hit me up. We'd love to do it. We'd love
Right
to do
on.
it, yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you guys go. Go hit the showers. That's right. You can't do this with the ladies singers. You know what I'm saying? We all come in here. We've all been sitting outside all day long, and we just came in here and we just funked the place up.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
so, yeah, we got to leave now so they can fumigate. And thank you guys so much for coming out. Once again, you guys killed it. I can't wait to see you guys again.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Great to see you guys, brother.
All right.